Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Chicago PD Season 12, Episode 18. New details from first episode, after brief hiatus. Chicago PD returns with Season 12, Episode 18, on Wednesday night. The Wednesday night lineup took a week off on April 9, but the brief hiatus has ended. New Med, Fire, and PD episodes will arrive on April 16. Each drama has 5 new episodes left this season, and more stories will be told before the May Chicago PD season finale. An overarching theme of Chicago PD Season 12 is Deputy Chief Reed and how he will impact intelligence. Veteran actor Hiatus plays Charlie Reed, the new Deputy Chief of the Chicago Police Department. The new character buddied up with Hank Voight, trying to create a friendship, but doing so with leverage. Reed knows Officer Dan Torres has a romantic relationship with his confidential informant, Gloria Perez. Reed also knows that Detective Kim Burgess covered it up. Burgess figured out what Torres was up to with his CI. Voight was in a compromising position between Reed and his team, which led Reed to call in the intelligence team to clear out an area of gang activity in Chicago. But Reed had ulterior motives. Voight discovered the deputy chief wanted a more controllable drug boss in power. Get ready for the entire situation to blow up. Chicago PD Season 12, Episode 18 Synopsis. Voight and Chapman work together to uncover Deputy Chief Reed's shadow dealings as Reed assigns intelligence to a carjacking case. The full synopsis for the April 16 Chicago PD episode reads: Voight brought in Ada and Maina Chapman to help bring down Reed, but they are doing a quiet investigation off the books. It could get very murky. TV promo for April 16 Chicago PD episode. Below is the TV promo NBC is running for Chicago PD Season 12, Episode 18. It shows Reed putting Voight and intelligence in the crosshairs of a new case. A car has been taken with $500,000 worth of drugs in it. Reed wants Voight and his team to immediately find it. This could get very sticky for Voight and intelligence. More news from the One Chicago shows. Chicago PD Season 12 has wrapped. The cast and crew finished filming the season finale and celebrated with a party. Chicago Fire spoilers reveal details on Bowden's return. Eamon Walker returns as the former chief of Firehouse 51. He played the part for 12 years, but Bowden was promoted to a different job within the Chicago Fire Department. After a 2-week hiatus that left fans on edge, Chicago PD roared back with Season 12, Episode 18, titled In Plain Sight, and it did not disappoint. Picking up just days after the events of Episode 17, the intelligence unit returned to the screen in full force, tackling a case that hit painfully close to home for one of their own. The episode opens on a gray-skied morning in Chicago. Trudy Platt walks into the 21st District with a box of donuts and an unsettling feeling. The usually unflappable desk surgeon exchanges a glance with Voight, who's already in his office reviewing bodycam footage. Something is off. Before long, it becomes clear. A former confidential informant of Atwater's, someone he personally vouched for, has turned up dead in a South Side alley. From the jump, the case is layered. Atwater is visibly shaken, but masks it with a laser-sharp focus. He tells the team, "We do this right. We do this clean." But as they dig deeper into the victim's recent contacts, they find themselves spiraling into a web of corruption that seems to stretch beyond the city limits. Meanwhile, Voight is haunted by his own moral compass, or lack thereof. He's starting to see ghosts, and they're wearing badges. When an anonymous tip links the dead informant to a suspicious task force operating under the guise of drug enforcement, Voight realizes he may be facing off against another department entirely. Sometimes the enemy ain't wearing gang colors, he tells Halstead grimly. Sometimes they're in uniform, just like us. Haley Upton, freshly back after medical leave and a tumultuous personal crisis, is trying to find her rhythm again. She partners with Burgess for most of the episode, and their scenes showcase a rare camaraderie between two women who've often been at odds in previous seasons. Burgess quietly asks if Upton's okay, to which Upton replies, "No. But I'm here. That's got to count for something." The two share a quiet moment before being thrust back into the fire. The case takes a turn when surveillance footage shows the victim, a man named Jamal King, in a heated argument with a man dressed in tactical gear just days before his death. Using digital facial recognition, the unit identifies the man as Detective Ron Slater, a rogue cop from a neighboring jurisdiction with a history of excessive force complaints, none of which ever stuck. Voight pulls every string he has to get Slater into an interrogation room. When Slater finally sits across from him, it's a showdown. Slater smugly denies everything, but Voight sees right through him. "You can lie to me, but don't insult me," Voight growls. "You killed a man who trusted us. That's blood on your hands." But Voight knows they need more than a gut feeling to bring him down. He sends Torres undercover, tapping into the young officer's rising skill as an infiltrator. Torres poses as a street dealer to gain access to one of Slater's old contacts, a man who runs a supposedly clean boxing gym for at-risk youth. The tension in these scenes is razor-sharp. One wrong move and Torres is outed. Eventually, Torres uncovers audio recordings hidden in the back office of the gym. In one clip, Slater is overheard threatening Jamal King, warning him to keep his mouth shut or end up another chalk outline. It's enough for a warrant. The final act is a pulse-pounding raid led by Halstead and Atwater. They storm Slater's apartment and find not only weapons and cash, but a burner phone with texts detailing a pay-for-play scheme involving several officers. Slater is arrested, but Voight knows the rot goes deeper. In a powerful final montage, the team sits in the squad room long after hours. No one speaks. Atwater stares at the wall, haunted. Voight looks out the window, contemplative, and Upton, her eyes full of wariness, simply whispers, "We don't ever get clean, do we?" The closing scene, however, hints at the future. Voight meets with an internal affairs investigator, someone fans will recognize from earlier seasons, who warns him that Slater was just the tip of the iceberg. "You sure you want to keep pulling at this thread?" she asks. Voight doesn't hesitate. "Rip the whole damn sweater," he says. Other key details: Kim Burgess and Adam Ruzick. While the main plot didn't focus heavily on their relationship, there were quiet moments, shared glances, subtle gestures that hinted their emotional bond is still evolving post-reunion. At one point, Burgess reaches for Ruzick's hand under the table when Atwater breaks the news about Jamal. It's brief, but powerful. Trudy Platt, she gets a few scenes of her own this episode, particularly one where she confronts a young officer who mouths off about rats turning up dead. In classic Platt fashion, she delivers a monologue that leaves the officer speechless, and maybe a little afraid. "You think wearing that badge makes you better than the people we protect? Then you're part of the problem." Jay Halstead, still grappling with the aftermath of his brother Will's departure and his own inner turmoil, Halstead shows signs of being the team's moral center once again. He anchors the team in this episode, holding both Upton and Atwater up when they falter. Fan theories ignited by episode 18. Is Voight being set up? Some believe that internal affairs sudden involvement signals that Voight is being slowly boxed in by a larger conspiracy. Could Torres be in danger? The risky undercover op might come back to haunt him, especially since he made enemies in the process. New leadership shakeup? Rumors have circulated that Season 12 could end with a massive shift in command. The seeds may have been planted in this episode. In plain sight was a return to form for Chicago PD, intense, emotionally resonant, and full of layered character beats. After the brief hiatus, fans were craving momentum, and they got it in spades. With only a few episodes left in the season, one thing is clear. The intelligence unit is about to uncover something massive, and no one is safe.